Peace be with you, dear sisters and brothers, and welcome to Catholic SG Radio. I'm Andre Achak, and this is The Bright Side. Now, The Bright Side is where we invite sisters and brothers to share their faith journeys with us. And hopefully, from their sharing and from their lived experiences, we also get, a different perspective and inspiration, of course, in the lives that they live and, of course, in the way they try to live out Christ in their lives as well. Today, we are joined by someone who's chosen, you could say, a path less traveled, in the sense that he's a young husband and father whose story, I believe anyway, blends and, really lends decisions with deep conviction. From tying the knot with his wife Alicia at 24, John Khoo, who's standing here with me, embraced fatherhood just 2 years later, and his journey, to some, I suppose, it would be challenging, and we feel also that it invites many of us to rethink what it means to build a life with a purpose. John is a computer engineer. He's also nurturing the next generation of engineers. But beyond the tech and the titles, it's his heart and his faith that anchor his story. So let's get to know him. First of all, what it's like to grow. What is it like to grow into manhood, marriage, and fatherhood, all before most of us figure out, what kind of kopi we want for the morning. So, John, thank you so much for being with us and taking the time. I think you've just come after work and you're tired, but thank you so much for being here. It must have been a big decision for you at 24 to tie the knot. Some say it's actually, in today's terms, quite young, what you did. Did you ever feel it was risky, or did you both feel, you and Alicia, feel this sort of certainty from the start of it all?
Well, I think at some point we both kind of decided, okay, as Catholics we date with the intention of discerning marriage. So that was always kind of like in the foreground, and we were thinking there's a question that we were always thinking about. And for me, I felt even before meeting Elisha, I felt okay. The bar is not. How do you say it? We don't have to spend our lives looking for the one to get married.
Right.
The most important thing, the necessary and sufficient condition, is to have the will and the desire to keep working on the relationship, to keep persevering. And I feel that if we are able to address some basic incompatibilities, as long as there is that intention and that the choice that is made every single day to keep working on the relationship, it will flourish. So there's no need for we don't have to go through a very long trial period where we're dating in order to figure it out. Right. So that was my perspective. When I first met Elisha, she understood where I was coming from, but it also took her a bit of time to accept it. Her previous relationships lasted. She had previous relationships where she didn't have such good experiences as well, so that colored things somewhat. And also it was hard for her to understand what it means to choose to love someone. So that was something that she had to learn as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I remember early on in our relationship, it was quite. I remember one of the tensions was that I wanted us to. I felt more sure about it than her, and I wanted us to dive deeper and draw closer and think more concretely about these things. But she was a bit hesitant at first, and I remember one of the conflicts that we had was that she wouldn't want to say "I love you" to me.
Really?
At first.
Oh.
I was ready to say it before her, and then
right. Was it a sort of fear on her part, maybe, that she felt that she wasn't ready?
Yeah, I think essentially that. But to me also it was painful, right? Because it felt when I say it, she doesn't say it back. It's like, so you don't love me? So yeah. I'm like putting myself out there, and I'm trusting that when I say this, it means I trust that you care about me. I trust that you want to build this future together. And then
correct.
You don't. At the same time, it was also like a moment of trying to grow to deepen in that trust, right? It's like not that she doesn't care about me, but that she's not ready yet, and I have to learn to respect that. And from a higher perspective, trying to trust that God is guiding this process. Like if she says no, even if she doesn't reciprocate, right, and she breaks it off, like it's not that it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything bad. And God is still watching over me and guiding my path.
Absolutely. What considerations did you have, before you proposed to Elisha? Is that how you pronounce her name?
Elisha, yeah.
Elisha, right?
Yeah. So there were, I think, essentially, broadly, we were looking at general alignment in our values and what we wanted out of life. So
Right.
we both prioritized having family and having children.
Both of you agreed on
Yes,
that.
we both agreed on that, and we wanted
Right.
to have kids early. So we kind of, that was really kind of established early on. And importantly, we were both Catholic. So I
Yeah.
also had previous relationships which were with non-Catholics, and that proved to be quite a significant source of tension. And I think this kind of, like I said, like the broad alignment of values,
Yeah.
having the same faith, committing to growing in that same faith, that proved that's like the foundation that helped us to kind of align our relationship and our goals in life.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And also gives me the confidence that like we have these shared goals that we will commit to working towards.
And so, did you have a sort of a list, I guess, or a checklist, or was it more a leap of faith?
I guess it was. I guess you could kind of say it was a leap of faith. Like I checked the basic stuff, which I've just mentioned, and then I felt
Good
okay.
practical man.
Okay, I mean, we've been going for a while. I feel like we complement each other. Like our characters complement each other. And well, we have the same faith, same values, same life goals. Okay, what are we waiting for, right?
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, so then we went for it. Funnily enough, it was not. She's very particular about things. So the proposal was kind of like. I asked her, "Are you ready to choose your ring?" And then,
Wow.
and then she said, "No, not yet." And then one day she said, "Yes, I'm ready." So then she chose the ring, but which was kind of like the acceptance of the proposal.
Wonderful.
In theory.
Such a nice indirect way.
Yeah, but of
Is
course,
that the way engineers think?
yeah, but of course, like I mean, every girl wants like her fairy tale proposal, right? So I
Absolutely.
also planned like a formal proposal, but that was kind of like the moment where we were both like. We realized that we both had reached the point
Yeah.
where we were ready to commit.
And that was the green light, I guess,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you were really
Yeah.
looking for. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so when she said yes,
Yes.
right? Did you have to convince your parents-in-law that what did you do?
Okay, my in-laws are they're very loving and very self-sacrificial, but they also kind of fulfill the stereotype of the Asian parent, which doesn't like communicate the feelings much. So I wanted to do the traditional thing where I invite her parents out for a meal, and then like, may I propose to your daughter? May I
Right.
have your daughter's hand in marriage?
Wonderful.
But
It's about
but they always kind of like avoided the question, and one day just like, it's okay, no need to go for the meal.
really. So you got let off in that sense.
I think it might have been more stressful for them than for me.
I think probably. But at the end of the day, they just accepted that this was going to happen.
Yeah, and I think they were we never had like a conversation about it. There was no like performance appraisal, but there were. As time went by, I think they saw how I treated their daughter. That they could see that I loved her. They saw that.
And I think that's the most important.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
So I would. Elisha's a doctor, and sometimes has to work really long hours.
Right.
And then I would. Where possible, I would try to use the family car to send her home after work, and I think they saw and appreciated this. I would whenever I go over for meals, I would wash the dishes.
Smart
Small
man.
practical things, right?
Smart man, winning the heart of the mother-in-law and the father-in-law.
Okay,
Well done.
it was kind of a double-edged sword though, because like then sometimes I would like drip water on the floor, and like to me I would like just ignore it, and I would be like,
The
slowly.
kitchen is a sacred place.
Yeah, so just trying to show that I care, and I mean, not even trying to show, like just from the fact that I care about her. And
Yeah.
I see these things. When we have an argument, I bring flowers to her place, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you assure them, your future parents-in-law, that you would be a stabilizing or stable force for their daughter? Is she the only child?
No, she has a younger brother.
Ah, okay, all right.
So I think, I mean, as Singaporeans, we're all very concerned with stability. And
Absolutely.
I think one thing I was quite blessed with was that I was able to get a scholarship from while I was studying in university.
Right.
So that kind of guaranteed that I would get a job. And,
Wonderful. Yeah.
So that provided, I think, the financial stability perspective for her and for her parents.
Right.
And another thing that I was really blessed with was that my parents allowed us to stay at our childhood home.
Right.
And there was enough space and resources for everybody. So that's really a blessing that I'm very grateful for, that made it a lot more possible for this.
Yeah.
It saves us a lot of money, a lot of administrative headaches.
I'm sure. Okay, so that done, every young couple also needs certain amount of guidance. So who did you turn to for wisdom or advice during that season, I suppose, when you were courting?
So the problem that we had was we met in the end of 2018, and so we only had like 1 year of like normal dating, which was punctuated by a lot of arguments, and then COVID. So yeah, so actually I'm grateful. I mean, it kind of came at like okay time, because the first year we were like ironing out all of the kinks and all of the areas of incompatibility and having big arguments and everything.
Right.
So after 1 year, things more or less stabilized. Yeah, but
And all this happened over Zoom?
No. I said like this was in 2019.
Oh, okay. So just before
Yeah,
COVID.
before
Okay,
COVID.
all right.
Then when COVID hit, I mean, the world collapsed, right? So I think it was in this period where I kind of was very grateful for the Priest of Opus Dei, which was this group that I was journeying with, because they provide formation for NUS students, and
Right.
they have a center right outside NUS, and they were very. Father Joe and Father Damon were very dedicated in trying to help us and trying to provide guidance and to bring the sacraments to us, even in the midst of COVID. Like they really spared no effort in like trying to help us.
Wow.
And I was really grateful for that. So that's what helped tided us through that period. Later on, we had. We were introduced to a friend of Father Damon's, Eugene, who with his wife Trillian runs like kind of like an NPC follow-up community. So it was kind of weird because Father Joe did the NPC, like he did like the preparation for us, because it was impossible to get a slot with NPC and or EE in that period.
Correct.
So then we were kind of like parachuted into the community, and then that helped a bit, because I helped quite a bit, because we could talk to them as our mentors. We could meet other couples who were like in a similar life stage, preparing for marriage or just married, and talk to them about the challenges that we face, and share about these things.
And that helped you, I'm sure, both of you.
So having these, because I mean. The thing about being the first amongst your peers, right, is that you don't really have anybody to ask for help.
That's true.
Yeah, and especially with the devastation like wrecked by COVID, right? It's even harder to find like people that we can talk to. So that was what helped us a lot. And then after we got married, I formally joined Opus Dei.
Right.
And as a member of Opus Dei, we have what we call a chat, which is like spiritual
So
direction.
you're a supernumerary?
Yes,
Right.
Spiritual direction with a member of Opus Dei every week, a lay member. So that helps, because he can understand our like kind of like the professional concerns a bit better and provide the guidance there. So that has also helped a lot in like helping me to have a sounding board whom I meet regularly to discuss my
very
my issues
important.
with.
Yeah. And so now, as a husband and a dad, of course, still in your 20s, what's it like?
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, sometimes I feel like if it's so tough already in my 20s, right? How do people who are in their 30s manage it? Like, the waking up in the middle of the night, like to change the diaper, which we just had to do last night, actually. And like the just dealing with like the boundless.
Your mom and dad would have said, "I told you so."
You forget, like, we were all kids once, right? But you forget how like infinite their energy is. He's like
absolutely.
an energizer buddy. Like one of my colleagues called it.
Their batteries never wear out. At least not before hours. Anyway.
Yeah. So I think it's okay. It's been a great blessing. Still, I mean, there's a lot of joy in it, in playing with him, seeing how, I mean, on a purely natural level, it's like, oh, he's so cute, he's so fun to play with, he laughs, he makes us laugh.
Right.
There's also kind of like the higher perspective that we can see. Like here, I really appreciate on a natural level that I'm stepping into this institution of fatherhood. I'm taking like this big step in maturing and like taking on responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. That for another human being, he's 100% dependent on me. Right. And this also gives me more insight into my relationship with God the Father. And I think it's even more beautiful. Apologies to the ladies, right? But like, because God is the Father and the Son, and the love between the Father and the Son.
Right.
And like that is my reality every day. Like, I'm a father, I have a son, and there's the love that we share.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that helps me to understand how dependent I am on him. Like, I mean, I look at this guy like just squirming around, like screaming and fussing for no good reason. And like, okay, whenever I throw a tantrum at God, like, that's what he sees.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but at the same time, like that I feel so much love towards him, like that. And this is only like a drop in the ocean of God's love for me. Like how much concern he has for me, how much he wants the best for me, how much he wants to guide me.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a father?
I wouldn't say always, but I think around when I was in secondary school, I started to have like this kind of like puberty identity crisis stage. Where I was like, okay, so what's the point of my life? Like what's the meaning of my life? What gives meaning to it? And I think that's when I started to try to like understand a little bit more about the teaching of the church, about like broadly like theology of the body type topics,
right?
Trying to understand that actually like God made us male and female, He made us complementary to each other, and there's like a part of like the fulfillment of like our natural end is in having a family, and that kind of like shapes the how how we develop in virtue and character, and so that gave me some quite a bit of meaning. Like when I was younger, I thought like what is I always felt like what is leadership, what is a career, like I don't care about any of these things. I just want like a simple life. But I mean, a father is a leader, and a career is necessary to provide for a family.
Absolutely.
It's not out of selfishness or ego. It is out of love. And of being an icon of God the Father, providing and protecting.
Such a lovely image. I guess I have to ask you this question. Did you ever think of the priesthood or religious life?
I did. And I was asked at least once, maybe more, but it just never really I did consider it, but I felt like I couldn't really picture myself as like a pastor of many. Yeah, I speaking in public every week. Just being in that position, I feel like it doesn't really suit me. So that and I mean I did ask God, look, I surrender myself to you. I trust in you. I understand that like I can do nothing apart from you, and your plans are better than my plans. So if you want me to go in this direction, then let me know. But like there was no stirring or anything like that. So and then that's the point at which I kind of made peace with the fact that okay, I'm not being called to the priesthood,
right?
So let's go ahead with the vocation of marriage.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, in a sense, you've made this transition, right, into fatherhood, and I think you've also used the word patricins before, right? Could you share a moment that you might be able to remember that really crystallized that shift for you when you felt, the weight and the wonder of being a father, to as you said, this child that looks at you and really needs all of your help right now?
Oh, that's easy actually, because there was unfortunately an incident a few months ago where Isaac had a pretty bad allergy to milk.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's been breastfed the whole time. Then we decided, okay, it's time to start him on milk.
Right.
And then we gave him the milk, and he had a quite bad allergic reaction. And my
Right.
wife said,
So is he lactose intolerant?
no, it's allergy to milk. To the
Just
milk protein itself.
an allergy. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, most babies grow out of it after by the time they're 5 years old.
Okay.
But, at that point, it could have been life-threatening. So we had to rush to the hospital. So then I was like, okay, I'm driving my son. Okay, so it wasn't too severe. We weren't immediately worried about it, but there was a chance that it could deteriorate. So we had to get him to the hospital as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And like I was like just like charging down the Lonnie Highway. Thinking,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
this is it. This is it. Like this guy depends on me and
Yeah.
my driving skills.
And it's in moments like those you wonder, right? I mean, my goodness.
but
So you got there in time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He's okay now.
yeah. I mean, it was not too severe. And he's we figured out how to manage it and everything. Thankfully he was all right. I think in that moment it felt kind of like an out of body experience. Like I'm holding his life in my hand, but I wasn't afraid. I was like just calmly trying to like get my way through the traffic and get to where I needed to go. Right. And I guess I'm not sure if I thought of it explicitly, knowing that God was holding the situation in His hands, and trusting that everything's going to be okay.
And how did Elisha, respond to this whole situation? How did both of you?
I mean, we were both quite panicked at first, but like fortunately the reaction was not too severe. So like as a doctor, I think she could tell that he was like he had a rash and vomiting, but he was like walking around like normal. So it was not too bad. So she kind of calmed down.
Okay.
I don't really know what was going through her head as you're like rushing to the hospital, but
Correct.
because I mean eyes on the road, right?
Yeah.
But that was fortunately it was okay.
But it's in times like these where both of you have to come together.
Yes, of course.
In that sense.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything from that experience?
I guess I wouldn't say learn, more kind of crystallized like the weight of the responsibility. And, like
It dawned on you, right?
Yeah. It became very concrete. It's like, I mean, this is when it was like really put to the test, right? Like where I had to do this thing to protect him and to keep him safe.
As a young father, what scares you most?
That my child will lose the faith.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, even this has always been scary to me, like that or that anybody I love might lose their faith, right? That this, like life, earthly life is passing, but eternal life is eternal, right? So that really, and that's like the hardest thing, right? Because on the one hand, no one is more responsible than you, but on the other hand, like there's only like as a human being, he has freedom, and the freedom given from God, and it is not I or anybody else who saves him; it is God.
Right.
So like learning to trust in that, while at the same time being as responsible as I can, putting in all the effort that I can to give him like the formation and the guidance that he needs, and also like the supportive environment. Like there's no like curriculum that we follow in order to guarantee that he will internalize the faith. It's the environment that we create, is the example that we give.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it all comes together, and it's I mean it's scary, but it will be difficult, but at the same time, right, this is co-redeeming with Christ, right? This is leading a soul to eternal glory with God in heaven.
At the end of the day, for any child, as you mentioned, it's the environment, and you'll be surprised how much they actually watch, and they really do take it in and absorb it. And I mean, it may not be immediate, but whatever they learn really actually becomes manifest down the road. So I guess, so all we can really do is give them as best an environment that we can, and
the paradox here, right? Like is that in stressing so much about these things, then your own behavior slips. So yeah, we had to like strike that balance, right? Like that. I think at the end of the day, we always want the best for him.
Sure.
But the best for him is not. I mean, that's not something that you can determine like at this point in time. So we also there comes a point where it's like, okay, how much research do you need to do, right? Like, how much sleep do you need to sacrifice to figure this thing out? How much time do you need to spend apart from him, like trying to figure these things out? You know, like so, because at the end of the day, it's better that he has that he feels our presence rather than I'm like checking whether or not this milk powder or that milk powder. You know, like there's a point beyond which the marginal returns are not really worth it.
So what do you do, and what do you leave to the missus?
Well, transport, of course, is one thing. When she was pregnant, I spent a lot of time like reading about these things, about like the different like kinds of like hazards from toys and things like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
trying to be a bit more selective in the things that we buy. And then I mean it's difficult because like on a practical note, like it can be quite hard to do like the quality control unless you buy from very specific.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then like people give you presents and stuff, and like, oh,
Yes.
what can I do about this?
Exactly.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, like our Lord says, right, like, which of you for all your worrying can add 1 cubit to the span of his life? So.
Well said. Well said.
My wife, I mean, because she took a lot of time off, so she's a lot more attuned to like kind of like the basic baby care stuff,
Right.
like the food, the milk, and everything. So that's kind of like the area which she focuses on.
Right.
It's kind of like we haven't really drawn the demarcation very clearly. Although I hope that eventually, as like things stabilize a bit more, we can do it, because I understand that's the advice that I've heard, that it's easier to, if you have explicit areas of responsibility, and it's easier, and like there's less conflict.
I guess but I guess both of you know you will fill in whenever
Of course.
the need.
Yes.
You know, whenever there's a need.
Yeah, without being rigid about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really, I think, the best way. I'm sure this is not going to be your first and last child. I'm sure you're planning ahead.
Honestly, so we had. I'm the oldest of 4 children, so I have like 3 younger siblings.
Right.
And I always wanted to have 4 kids because like seems like a good number. We had lots of fun growing up.
Seems like a good number. Okay.
And my wife wanted 3, but after Isaac was always like, oh no more. And like it oscillates, you know, like, so like, oh, you're so cute. I wish there was another one of you. Preferably a girl who was like is less energetic and like not as destructive. But yeah, and then others, oh my goodness, how does anybody do this? You know,
in the delivery room, right? Were you there with her?
Yes, I was.
Was she holding your hand?
Yes.
Huh? Did she squeeze your hand so hard?
I think so. It was a bit of a blur. I remember I kept like having to like give her water and stuff.
Right.
She was pushing really hard and she was like tired out and everything. He was 3.7 kg when he was born.
That is okay. It's quite a bundle.
The first thing she said was, when we picked him up, and like, he looked at me and said, "You caused me so much pain."
Oh wow. Okay, but still that bundle of joy. Where is God in all of this for you, for both of you?
Okay, so I think, to be honest, it's hard to right. We know that this is the flowering of our vocation.
Yeah.
To have children, but in the midst of it, sometimes it's hard to keep our eyes on God. Right? It's hard to remember that He's supporting us behind the scenes. He's pouring His grace into our hearts, giving us like the little like boost of energy that we need to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's just an overwhelming like wall of tiredness, endless stream of things that need to be done. So that's something that we're working on trying to remain grounded, trying to keep to remember the presence of God in the midst of these situations, and like that this is our vocation. I think it's something that I would say that is critical to keep that relationship with God alive.
Absolutely.
But it is in the midst of everything to like find some way to protect that time. But as of now, it's hard for us to like carve out that space, because it's like every day is the same. I wake up, send Isaac to infant care, send Elisha to work, go to work myself, come back, pick him up, dinner, then wash him up by the time everyone's like super tired out. And when he finally goes down for to sleep, right, then like we both fall asleep next to him.
You steal every wink, that you can get, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not even
eye.
intentional, It's like
Yeah.
we just I'll lie down next to you. You lie down, you lie down next to me. Okay, and then you sleep. Okay, you sleep.
Yeah. I wonder who sleeps first. Oh, wow.
I mean, how many times you've fallen asleep without even showering?
Absolutely. But this is definitely a marathon. It's going to be a marathon. After 50 years of marriage, my dad said, we asked, people asked him, how did you do it? He said, every day you need to make a decision to love. And just a few weeks ago, they celebrated their 65th birthday, 65th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And again, I think it was one of my aunts who said, 65 years, that's a long time. He said, well, you need to have humor. And I guess that's really what it is. It's love with a sprinkle of humor, good sense, and with the good Lord's watching us, I'm sure with His love.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, on that topic, so one thing that we do try to that we do make an effort to kind of maintain is that we dedicate one night every week for a date night.
Wonderful.
Have a nice meal.
Yes.
Spend some time together. This is okay. So because it's easy to forget, but the vocation is marriage, and that's the foundation. And
Indeed.
the first stage comes the spouse, then the children.
Absolutely.
And maintaining that is difficult because the spouse is reasonable, the child is not.
True. True.
Yeah. So and then even when we do this, right, sometimes you just end up doing administrative planning for you need to send him for this class or you need to buy that thing. But at least, I mean, sometimes we manage to make it work and we spend some time connecting, and I'm very grateful that we are able to do that.
You know what? I tell you, I mean, John, no marriage is perfect, but we work towards that because we have the Lord with us.
Amen.
And thank you so much for taking the time to come and share. You are really a truly brave man, I must say. And really, maturity really isn't measured by age, but really the courage to commit. And I think you've shown that. And you've been intentional in what you've wanted to do. And the Lord now has given you what you've asked for, in a sense. And He will give you the strength to continue. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you. And dear sisters and brothers, so if you want to hear more of John's stories, actually, don't forget, look up Men's Form Conference, and you can visit Men's, MENS, formconference.sg/conference. They've got a wonderful program. I've looked at it a couple of times, and there are so many tracks. And, really, if you go on your own, that's fine. But if you can go with your wives, I think that'll be great. Or your significant other, if you're both planning to get married pretty soon. So thank you so much for joining us here on The Bright Side on Catholic SG Radio. My name's Andre Achak. He's John Khoo. Pray for him and his wife and his little son Isaac. And actually, let's pray for more marriages in our Catholic youth. Right? So thank you so much for all of that. Take care. God bless and love you all. Bye-bye.